It's year 5 for Jim Harbaugh as well. Is this the year they take that big step? He hired Josh Gaddis as his offensive coordinator, a no-huddle spread guy coming from Alabama. They had the highest-ranked recruiting class in the league. They do lose a lot, though, particularly on defense. Guys like Devin Bush, Rashawn Gary, Chase Winovich. So let's check out what it looks like as we head to Ann Arbor. This was just a practice for the Wolverines, not a full-fledged spring game. There's Josh Gaddis, and this is that new-look offense. So let's take a look at some of it here, Jay, including some read option.
Yeah, Shea Patterson, a mobile quarterback, didn't run all that much in the pro-style system last year, but hopefully get him out in space more.
About jet sweep here.
Always use the jet sweep to get on the edge and give it to your speed guys to try to stretch the defense east and west.
Like Sandra still there, and Patterson to Ronnie Bell.
The shotgun, you can see that Shea Patterson very comfortable. Here's a little bit of a power pistol read option play.
Ends up in the hands of Tariq Black. Harbaugh's offense will kick a field goal there, and then later in the practice, it's Patterson to Bell again. How about Bell breaking some tackles and making his way to the end zone? It's great to see Tariq Black healthy again. We saw him a little earlier. Going to see him again here on the receiving end from Joe Milton.
Well, they've got some weapons at receiver. Tariq Black, Nico Collins. Look at that move right there by Black. Little okey-doke in the open field, making defenders miss. And, of course, Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Suann Roback was there. Got some reaction afterward. Okay.
We out the camera too? Sure. Okay.
So where do you want me to take you
Let's
here?
talk defense.
Okay.
We had a lot of offense right there, so let's
Okay,
talk
yep.
defense. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Jay, this defense was great last year until it wasn't. I mean, gave up 103 points combined to Ohio State and Florida. They'd given up 149 in the first 11 games combined.
Right.
So the focus now is getting back to that level they were at most of the year,
right,
where they were as stingy a defense.
Well,
as there
during
was
that 10-game win streak, they were dominant, right? And Ohio State broke their spirit a little bit. Devin Bush got banged up, and, of course, not a lot of players played in the bowl game. Don Brown has had elite defense after elite defense at Michigan. Can he reload on the front line? Their front seven's been dominant. They've still got Khalid Hudson there. Now, Chase Winovich is gone. Rashawn Gary's gone. Devin Bush is gone. They've still got players. They recruited very well. 8th-rated class in the country, highest in the Big Ten. They're going to reload defensively, but I think the offense has to lead the way for the Wolverines this year. I think Shea Patterson, Josh Gaddis running that new system, they've got to help the defense more than they did last year.
And I think it's fair to point out it wasn't an awful offense by any stretch last year, but they averaged more than 35 points per game.
Right.
The second highest scoring offense in the Big Ten. It just seems like there's kind of this, I hate to use this term, but this modernization of the offense. And again, this is kind of the direction that college football offense is going, and Michigan is now going in that direction.
Right.
It's going to look a lot more like the teams they play.
Well, to your point, Shea Patterson, I think, had 21 TDs and 5 interceptions in the regular season. People are like, huh.
Right.
I mean, that's a 4-to-1 TD to interception ratio. Usually we'd say that's great. It's just tough when Dwayne Haskins throws for 50 touchdown passes.
And again, we know what the bar is. And I think when we talk about programs like Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State and Wisconsin, the list goes on and on. You're measuring them against their history. And we know how great Michigan's history is.
Excellent.
And now it's been 14 years since they've won a conference title, which is the longest drought they've ever had. Again, the expectation is you figure out a way to get back there, particularly now given the fact that Urban Meyer, the guy who went 7-0 against you, is no longer in Columbus.